Hello, this is CobKit. I have to get on a plane later this afternoon, but I wanted to get this video out to you before I left. 1.13 just dropped, and that brought with it a new feature, the ability to use bone meal to spread one tall flowers to surrounding grass. Which is really cool. We haven't been able to do that. You can get the flowers in flower forests, but this will actually this will let you build your flower farms right in your own base. No need to travel or build in a flower forest. It'll also make those flowers that you can get off wandering traders more useful. So let's talk about how this mechanic works. So one flower is able to spread in a 5x5 block surrounding that flower. It's able to spread one block down and 2 blocks up. Okay, let's see. There we go, like that. I'm not sure what all of the spawn mechanics are for this. It seems like as long as they have a place to spawn, you should be fine. I haven't noticed big differences in drops based on how many spawn rates are available. They seem to have a harder time spreading down. See, I have to hit this flower a lot before it's actually able to find a place to grow. There we go, there's one. On the other hand, spreading up is not a problem at all. There, we go like that. They will only spread onto available grass blocks, though. You can see as much as I bone meal this, you're never going to get any flowers up here, or on any of the dirt variants, not pod soul, not path blocks, not crop blocks. There's all kinds of blocks that you can plant a flower on, but they'll only spread, at least at the moment, to grass blocks. Okay, so let me show you how this works, the principles behind this. What we have here is a 5x6 area of grass blocks up here, and this is a shifting floor design. The way that this works is that this dispenser is going to dispense bone meal onto this one tall flower, which is going to allow it to spread up to the top. Shortly after the bone meal is dispensed, the pistons will extend and shift the floor side to side, breaking off the flowers. Once the dispenser is completely empty, it's going to release some water that's being held back on these waterlocked pistons, which will spread over here. The flowers will then get collected into a hopper in a chest. I had a design based on just water on a clock, but water covering grass has a chance of killing the grass. And that does affect your rates. So basically it's set up now so that only when the dispenser is empty is it going to dispense the water to collect the items. I suppose if you were trying to grow like massive amounts of flowers, that could be a problem. You might have to deal with despawns. But probably not, because I think each time a new item stacks up, that despawn timer gets reset. Okay, let me show you how this works. So it's all set up so that it'll kick into gear as soon as you load some bone meal in. Ah, crap. Oh, no, there we go. Oh, you know what I did? Okay, this is showing it working really slowly, so you can kind of see what's happening. Okay, you can run it way faster than that, though. Here, hold on. There. What you want to do is run it with 4 items in this hopper clock. That's going to be it running at a really good speed. Okay, and there, it's going to flush out the water, collect all the items, which are all going to get washed over to this side. I'm not planning on doing any kind of block-by-block tutorial on this design. Here, let me show it working one more time, just so that you can get a feel of the sort of the speed that this goes at. So you can see right after the flowers are grown, the floor gets shifted over, and it gets kicked off. And then once all of the bone meal is gone, it's going to dispense the water to collect all those items. In terms of return, you get somewhere between about 3 to 3.5 items for each piece of bone meal, with the exception of poppies and dandelions, which interestingly, when you grow a poppy or a dandelion, you're going to mostly get that primary flower, but it also has this secondary flower. It's going to drop one of the other ones at some rate. Here, I can show that happening. Which is kind of weird. That only seems to happen with the poppy and the dandelion. Yeah, now you can see. Mostly poppies, but you're going to get the occasional dandelion coming through. So yeah, you're still going to get about 3-to-1 return on your primary flower and about 0.5 return on your secondary flower. So I don't really want to do a block by block tutorial for this design. It's not exactly a beast. I mean, it's still pretty simple. But I thought it might be more useful just to show you sort of the mechanics of this. This whole thing is based on two circuits. You've got your timing circuits, and then you've got your collection circuit. So I've kind of built these over here to the side just to show you how everything's working. The timer circuit is all based on an Etho hopper clock invented by Etho. And the principle behind this is that if you have two hoppers pointed into each other, they can swap items if you lock one of the hoppers. So let me show you. Right now all the items are here. There's no items here because this hopper's locked. If we move the block over to this side, now you'll see the items start to flow over here. So that's the basis of an Etho hopper clock. You read if there is anything in this hopper using this comparator that powers this piston, and that's able to push the block over. Another nice thing about an Etho hopper clock is you can turn it off really easily. Just by powering basically any of the blocks in the system will shut it down. So yeah, it'll just kind of go back and forth. It's very adjustable. You can control how long the timing is just by how many items are inside these hoppers. So what we're doing is we're using this to control our timing. You can see we have our redstone block moving back and forth, and every time it moves, it depowers this redstone line and creates a pulse. That pulse is being used to control our dispenser. Oh, not that one. There we go. Let me just grab some bone meal. Okay. So every time the redstone block goes back and forth, it's going to dispense bone meal onto this flour. You can also see we're using that to control our pistons. Every time the block moves back and forth, we're able to read that, and you get this little flashing of the redstone light. That's what we're using to drive these pistons over here. You can see it's the same basic design. We're using this torch on and off to control the line of pistons. The collection circuit uses a different principle. So here you can see we've got bone meal in this dispenser. And as long as there's anything in that dispenser, this comparator is going to read that as a signal, power this block. That block is going to power this redstone dust down here and turn this torch off. Okay? So what we've got is in this dropper, we have one item. So when the bone meal is dispensed out, it's going to come over to this hopper, and then it's just going to go right back into the dropper. And that creates a pulse that can be detected. So that item will shortly be in this hopper, gets picked up by this comparator, and that sends a signal over here to this signal decay clock. Basically, the redstone signal is going to slowly decay as it moves through these comparators, which will turn off this torch for the desired amount of time to retract the piston and release the water for just the right amount of time to allow it to collect all those items. So let me show you how that is working. So we only had one in there. Now there's no items. Signal is decaying. The water stays dispensed for a certain amount of time. And you can see as soon as we put something in there, it's going to turn that torch back off again, right? So this is a signal for collection. Now, the one more thing that I didn't have sketched out here, and that is the fact that we are using a signal off of this torch and powering that in here, and this will also turn off our timer circuit. So as long as this is empty, the timer circuit is off, and as soon as you put something into it, it will turn back on again. And once the bone meal is all used up, it will automatically turn back off again, and it will also dispense the water to collect the items. So let's see, I guess that's about it. Kind of a short video, I guess when you're not doing a block by block tutorial, doesn't really take that long. You can see the countdown, the signal decay timer going there, and you know, just all gets collected all in this chest. So you can build your flower farms wherever you want to now, and it should work just fine. Great for duplicating tulips, obviously fantastic for building a dye farm or anything like that. If somebody doesn't get it, if you have a question about how this is working or how this is built, you can put that down in the comments, and if there really is, you know, a demand for a block by block, of course I'll do a block by block, no concern there. The biggest thing here was just kind of snaking the redstone through to get the signal off of this pulse and back here over to the signal decay clock without it interfering with any of the pistons. So you can see I'm using glass to do that because You can put redstone on top of glass, but it won't actually transmit redstone power. So that kind of keeps things from interfering. Let's see. Okay, so I guess sort of video, I don't know, 2 in the flower farm series. And thanks so much for joining me. And I'll be back with you soon with more redstone contraptions. Bye!